Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel, whether you are new or you're coming back. Today we're going to do a quick divine masculine, divine feminine check-in, and also we'll see what are their thoughts and messages towards each other. As always, I'm starting with an oracle card for each of the twin collectives, and today is going to be the Whispers of the Ocean deck. So let's get started without further ado. Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. This was the 2-2 portal weekend, pretty important. If you want further guidance on the portal, there is a separate reading I did on that on Friday, so go check that out. What do we have for the feminines first of all? And as always, I really appreciate if you could like the video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Alright, for feminines we have Seeing Both Sides, number 28. Take a step back and try looking at this from a different perspective. Yeah, this is that Hangman energy that we actually saw yesterday for both twins, but I'm getting that for feminine specifically, it's gonna be instrumental to see the other person's perspective at this point. So don't make any rash movements or decisions. Make sure that you had opportunity to consider what the other person sees in this, why they act the way they act, and what is the best path forward. What do we have for the masculines? Number 34, the gift of neutrality. Balance is at work in your life. Yin and yang are opposites in energy, but reside side by side to create the gift of neutrality, right? We don't want to go into any of the extremes. I was just talking to my mom maybe a week ago about Barbie movie. She hasn't seen it, and we're just talking like generally, you know, the concept, and she told me like the rumors she heard. It was like, no, it's that, you know, that's not the story. And essentially, and as I was explaining, you know, a lot of times that's why it's important to talk through things, or at least to record them in the journal, so that while you're doing that, you're kind of framing things a certain way, and you can come up with new, that's like a hint for somebody, maybe even for this one. You're starting seeing some extra flavors or a different perspective that you haven't seen before. So yeah, essentially I was telling her like a big part of it is that none of the extremes are good, you know, in terms of feminine and masculine energy, patriarchy, matriarchy in society. It like both of those examples were overdoing it, right? And that's what they came to. That was the morale of the story at the end, for Barbie and Ken, right? So to me, this is very much, and maybe somebody needed that example to understand a little bit better how yin and yang can come into neutrality and collaborate, right? And appreciate each other's energy, right? If we're talking within a person, you know, like we are supposed to have that balance inside of us. That's the whole concept of yin and yang, essentially, right? And if we go too far into one of the areas, which is fine temporarily, and that's why we have those energies to work with them and apply them in situations as needed. But let's say you've been in one of those far too long. I don't know, maybe you're a feminine, but you had to be a breadwinner in the family, or somebody was sick, you had to take care of them and make a lot of difficult decisions, maybe even physical labor, right? You get attached to that mode. That becomes your new normal, because that's building habits, right? That's how our brain works. It adjusts, it adopts, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, and before you know it, you're constantly in the masculine energy, and then your feminine gets depressed, suppressed, right? So it starts causing issues on all levels: physical, emotional, energetical. And here we see the same. And you can go the other way around, of course. All right, let's go into tarot. Wow, that was fast. Okay, guess I shuffled them well enough. Bottom of the deck, Death. Yes, big transformational energy. We have Aquarius moved to Pluto. It just happened, what, a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And in February, we have Mars and Venus moving into Aquarius. So yeah, Aquarius in general is pretty grand energy. Like this, you know, and this is the season of Aquarius in general. But with all those planetary movements, they definitely push our limits. They make us question, are we on track? What's the purpose of what we do? Again, with that Mars and Venus in conjunction, you know, are they aligned? Are we aligned? Are we aligned in our masculine and feminine self? The Tower, there you go, Death and Tower, boom. Essentially, continuation of what I was talking about. Okay, let's see what we have for the feminines. The Chariot, clarified by the Chariot. I mean, you can't make it up. Yes, we've been preparing for a while, and we've been prepared, what I'm hearing. Now it's time for movement, for action. And the Chariot is asking us to make a weighed action, like an informed decision, right? Not impulsive one, but actually where we see the route, right? Like we understand, like we did our research. We know this is a condition of the road, so my horses are gonna be, my sphinxes are gonna be fine going there. Yeah, I checked the weather. I checked whether I'll have a place to stay because it's gonna take me a week, and my horses or sphinxes will need to rest. Whatever it is, right? Like you've done your research, you prepared. Notice it doesn't mean that you control every step. You still leave it to you leave the door open, right? To, I wanted to say to fate, but a lot of people have negative connotation connected with that word. But like you have faith, right? And you are leaving yourself open to getting guidance from the universe, right? Maybe you'll need to modify your plans on the way, but you're still supposed to have one. That's how you'll be able to go full speed without doubting yourself, without questioning, and without hesitation. For masculine, we have Nine of Cups, clarified by Queen of Wands. Did you notice how often we have Queen of Wands in the masculine energy? That's amazing, but I like that it's there because to me, it's, first of all, again, it's the inner integration of feminine and masculine. Actually, Queen of Wands is a good example of that because the Wands are the masculine energy, the fire, but the Queen is the feminine energy, right? But of course, even probably more importantly, it also signifies divine feminine energy on the back of it, right? Because masculine is still live more in the karmic world, in their conscious space. Of course, it's very personal, case by case basis, but generally, right? So they still need something in the physical to kind of anchor that energy, that belief, energy, belief, and mindset into, right? They're changing, big changes coming in, and then what? Or like in this case, their desires for emotional fulfillment, for happiness, the wish come true is actually connected with the feminine energy, the divine feminine, and their guidance, right? And what it may look like, right? This is a collective reading, but for example, they may start wishing for things that they didn't think were important to them, like having a peaceful environment in their family life, or they may be wishing for family and kids and they were never a family person, and now suddenly they start getting these thoughts. They may not even think about like, oh, I want to marry my divine feminine yet, but they may be in that nature of like thinking about settling down, starting a family, having space for kids, or like thinking about where they want to buy a house because, you know, of schools, or is it going to be good for little kids? Those kind of ideas. Feminine lives there, let's put it that way, even if it's on the subconscious level at this point. Additional question, Ace of Coins and Five of Wands. Wow. This is a question of how does a lot of our activity and the way we apply our resources depend on the outsiders, on external impact on us. For feminines, we have Three of Coins clarified by Seven of Cups. Yeah, this is team, working as a team. right? It's peer pressure essentially, right? It's like making a choice not because you feel like it's the right choice, but because that's what the group would approve. And essentially it leads you to invest in your personal resources in that way, right? Like, because at first it may be your time, and maybe it's even somehow declared that that's what you're supposed to be doing as part of a team, right? But then it goes into your attention, into your focus, diligence, and maybe even finances, where it's like, you know, the boundary gets, it doesn't exist anymore, right? And when the boundaries are broken, it's very easy to get carried away. For masculines, we have the Fool clarified by Two of Pentacles. Yeah, so masculines get into this playful energy, but like in the negative way, where they're like indecisive or childish, right? Fool can be like the foolish energy, being foolish. So they essentially like, okay, my friends are still playing the field, or that friend of mine got married and got kids and he's miserable now, right? So I'm gonna stay in, like, I'm gonna weigh my options. I'm gonna play here, play there, try maybe to have several partners, right? Like, why not? What's the big deal? Like, we don't have any strong commitments to each other. What's the big deal? Okay, what is the message from feminines to masculines today? Eight of Coins clarified by Ace of Cups. Working towards love. And the feminine is saying that they know that although on the surface it may seem like masculines are focused on their career, on making money, on collecting resources, on like doing the day-to-day job, but they know that deep down this work helps them process deep feelings and emotions and nurture self-love, self-worth, and essentially the way that they can express that love to others. They're cheering you on, masculines. Message from masculines to feminines. We have two major arcanas, the Wheel of Fortune clarified by the Devil. So masculines understand that, again, fate is at play. I'm getting this word, somebody might be using this word exactly. You know, like destiny is playing, is rolling the dice here, right? Lady Luck is like having her way. They don't really like the way it's doing it, or whatever that is, right? Like the bigger force, the universe. They don't enjoy it particularly. They feel like it's tricked, it's twisted somewhere. Someone's manipulating the way things are going. And so they don't have a lot of appreciation right now, let's put it that way, for the overall alignment and divine timing, right? They wish things were different. But they also, because they understand this is this bigger picture, bigger energy, they understand that there is not much that they can do right now but see how it's going to play out. So they are working hard on having trust that things are going to come together for the two of you, and it's not going to be as weird as it was the last cycle, the last time. It's going to be healthier, it's going to be more loving, and a lot of the inner struggle and shadow work will be out of the way, so that it can be more authentic and kind. That's what they're wishing for and what they're looking forward to. I hope this was good for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon.